one of the best kept secrets in this part of the world is the Tulsa Air and Space Museum. Alex London is the curator of the museum. It's good to have you.
Thank you for having us, and we appreciate the kind words. We always try and have a great experience when you come to our museum.
Every time I walk through it, I see something new, and it turns out, because I'm pretty one-dimensional, I get to, but I see something new that's been there for a long time. Question number one, are you a pilot?
I am not. I have a love of aviation, though.
So we got the right man in the right slot.
Right.
What leads folk to take such a strong interest in walking through the Tulsa Air and Space Museum?
You know, I think we try and tell stories about Tulsa and Oklahoma aviation. And I think for our surrounding community members, it's something that they care about deeply. Take, for example, the Douglas factory that produced World War II airplanes. We have a lot of folks that have family members here, and they're seeing their family history take place at our museum because we have such great ties to aviation. Mm-hmm. Aviation being the second largest industry in Oklahoma. And then for our surrounding members in the states, I think it's very important to them to learn about when they come visit us in our state. They want to learn about Oklahoma. We tell that story through aviation.
How did you get all the great things that you have on display there?
We're very, very lucky to have reached out to certain community members and family members that can help us. For example, the Pogue family. We just launched a new Bill Pogue exhibit discussing Oklahoma astronaut Bill Pogue. We were really lucky to be in touch with his family. His son Tom has been very gracious to provide incredibly intimate items. The flag from Bill's memorial service, space-flown items, objects that he brought up in his own personal care, things that you'll never see anywhere else. But because we had those close connections with the Pogue family, they were gracious enough to provide those items. You can see them in our museum.
Gosh, how many astronauts do we have from Oklahoma?
We have quite a few. I'll just leave it at that. There are quite a few. And what I like to say to that question is, it's not just astronauts, but it's engineers, it's scientists, it's all of these different leading STEM careers that we're needing to fill that pipeline again. And so when our young people come through our museum, we try to express to them, look at all these different jobs that were made possible. All these different individuals made it possible for that 37-story Apollo 5 rocket to go up into space, shuttle bay doors built in Tulsa, different rigging, all of that. There's so many opportunities for our young people, besides being an astronaut, all these different areas, that it's pretty incredible, and Oklahoma's been a huge contributor to that.
One of the things that I find happens to me when I walk through is I hear voices.
Yeah.
And before you call my wife, I hear voices from the past.
Yeah.
Wiley Post, I think, triggered a big interest in aviation because he was the man that flew Will Rogers around all the time. They died together, as you well know. Do you get many come through that express an interest in aviation to the extent that they want to be involved?
Absolutely. You know, some of those folks, and I'm glad you brought up Wiley Post, have an incredible legacy. And we would not be able to experience aviation the way we experience today. Take Wiley Post, for example, someone who experimented with pressurized suits.
Yeah.
And pushed the boundaries of aviation, speed, all of those different areas that we reap those benefits today. And I think a lot of folks, they have a profound fascination with aviation and how it got to where it is today. Go outside, we see airplanes flying all around, but we don't realize all the logistics behind all that and that's made possible. And those folks you're talking about left an incredible legacy for us, whether it be a Wiley Post, whether it be someone like Eugene Ford, who was a pilot of the last B-29 bomber ever built, that was built here in Tulsa. Incredible legacies of folks. And part of our mission is honoring the past and inspiring the future.
And so many breakthroughs are happening even as we speak. I know the last time the SR-71 was at the Tulsa International Airport, I had a chance to see the takeoff.
Yep.
And that sucker rolled, it seemed like 20 feet, and then all of a sudden it went away.
Incredible.
And I mean fast. And it travels at such a high rate of speed and goes so high, it reheat treats itself on every flight. And not a lot of people know that.
It can be hard to wrap your head around some of this stuff.
It is,
you know?
and when it's sitting there on the runway waiting to taxi, it's leaking fuel because the parts aren't all together until it reheat treats itself and they swell a little bit.
You know, I think it's amazing because when we look to the future of aviation, future of space flight, for all the elements we talk about in the STEM careers that focus on mathematics, theory, there's also a strong element of creativity needed and imagination. So I think that's pretty inspiring because we need folks from all different areas of the mind to participate in this, because you need a great mind to want to be able to truly believe that you can break through these boundaries, like space travel, for example, reach new destinations, new planets. And I see that inspiration in our young visitors through the museum. They have a true belief in what's possible, that truly anything is possible. So
Well,
when you
sure,
see something like
yeah.
that, it's pretty cool.
I've maintained all along, it's the young little, it's going to save us.
You got it.
I don't want to accuse Congress of being on top of it, God knows, especially right now, but one of the things that's about to happen is Congress is about to, and they're both sides, both houses, they're about to release the information that goes well beyond the Blue Book on these unidentified flying objects. Question, do you think there is such a thing, or do you think these are things under government wrap that we're just not being told about?
You know, little green men, you know, maybe not necessarily. We've been lucky enough to talk to our astronauts that come visit the museum about this and things like that. And I think there is a belief in the infiniteness of space and the infinite possibilities, perhaps, and things like that. I can't answer fully what we may uncover or anything like that. I do think perhaps it contributes to a great desire, kind of what we spoke about earlier, of endless possibilities and things like that, and willing to kind of question and not necessarily accept perhaps what may be eventually seen, and hopefully looking towards the future. And I think that presents just a natural curiosity.
We're out of time. Thank you, though, for coming in.
Welcome.
And one more thing, what's the most requested item folks want to see when they come to the Air and Space Museum?
I'd say they want to see the cockpit of our F-14 Tomcat.
Cool.
It's pretty neat, yep.
You ever get up and sit?
Don't tell my boss, but yes, I do. Right?
Hey, thank you, bud.
You're very welcome.
I
Thank you.
appreciate you, man. This has been great having you in.
We love to have you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, you're a good man. I don't care what anybody says.
Thank you.
We're all out of time. Thank you for being a part of it, and we'll see you back here next time.